Right. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Thandi Michelle, and I'm with the Assembly for South Africa. And I connect with a lot of you over the phone. And I am talking specifically tonight about needs assessments, but I'm going to speak to a couple of you and ask you what are the needs in your community, and then you can answer me, and I can kind of write it down, and which will help us with needs assessments and also give others an idea of what needs are in other communities. And you can also just see how the needs assessments can be done. Needs assessments can be done over the phone. They can be done while you're having coffee with somebody, and they are complaining about something, and you can say, oh, I didn't realize you didn't like the potholes. I don't like them either. What do you think we should do about it? So I know it destroys your car or whatever the case may be. Your shocks are completely shocked and shot. And you can think about all the different reasons why you need to think why the potholes need to be taken care of. But then you can also say, okay, what is the solution? Solution is that we fix it. Okay, but how do you think we should fix it? How many people do you think we need on a team to fix it? Think about all the different solutions. There's regular filling, where 20 people stand around and get it done, or there's the new method. There's two companies that we know of where you literally mix two substances together, you put it in the hole, you stamp it down, and a heavy duty truck can immediately drive over it, and it's completely set within minutes. And I don't mean 20 minutes, I mean like in 5 minutes, it's set. So there's different options, and it's actually a cheaper option than the regular tar work, and it doesn't need major preparation. So those are the kind of problems we're looking at, and solutions, any solutions. So I just think right now, who can I start with? Who's willing to speak to me about a problem in their community? Maria, welcome. Maria, I was wondering, can you unmute yourself and tell us about one problem in your community that really bothers you?
Hi.
Hi.
We've just got the roads one at the moment. All these from the floods. That's the major problem in our area at the moment.
Okay. So why is it a problem, Maria?
No, they haven't been doing it. Haven't come out to fix it or anything like that. So it's basically like a security issue at the moment.
Okay. So how bad is the situation? How many potholes after the rains do you have in your community?
We have had a bridge that washed away. It's closed down a whole section of the road. And on the other side, there's a massive one that is like halfway in the road.
Okay.
Half of the road is gone.
All right.
But the community got together and did the one with the bridge, so we're getting progress there.
All right. So is it a quick fix, or is it a lasting fix?
It's a quick fix, I think. Might be an issue when it rains again.
All right. So that bridge is actually another thing that you've got that needs to be sorted properly in your community.
Yes.
Okay. How important is that bridge to you?
It's by the old age home, so it's like a quick access for them, to get to shops and stuff like that. So if there's a particular, how would you say, emergency, they would have to go the long way around if anything happened to the bridge again.
Is that bridge also offering access to the hospitals?
No,
Doctors?
not really.
Not
No.
really. Okay. Does that bridge serve the greater community as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
So that takes quite a bit of traffic. Parents with children going to school every day, going to work.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Right. So what is the solution there? Do you know if the bridge is old? Has it been there a long time? Do you know how many cars go over there on a daily basis? How many people live in your community?
No, I'd have to just ask some questions on the group and find out.
Okay.
We do have quite an active chat community in our area.
Maria, please can you find out for me and come back about how many people
Sure.
are in your community and how many people use the bridge?
Okay. Cool.
Because if that could be, if that bridge is not completely stable and it's a quick fix, for the next rains it will happen again and God forbid somebody gets hurt.
Okay. I'll find out. I'll get back
Okay,
to you.
thank you. All right, so have you got any other things happening in your area that is really a need?
No, not major, no.
If you get stuck, just look at my little ad I drew up. I put a whole lot of keywords on there and it's also in that document 10. Do you guys want me to put it up on the screen for you?
Sure.
I can always do that. All right. Document 10. There. Share. Right. Okay. Maria, can we move on to somebody else?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Who's next?
Thanks. All right.
Right. Can you see the screen?
I don't know how to switch, how to put up my hand.
Okay, that's fine. I can hear you talk, so it's fine. Just go for it.
No, I just wanted to mention an issue that we've got within our immediate community. Perhaps we just want to finish up on the pothole thing first. I don't know.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, 100%. One of the biggest things we've got in the immediate farming community is cattle theft. It's a major thing. We're looking at 70 sheep that get stolen. I was speaking to one of our neighbors across the road, and they lost over 500 cows last year. So I mean, just the impact on that on their financial bottom line is huge. And so the local boerevereniging, I don't know what boerevereniging is in English. Donnie, weet jy?
Like a farmers union?
Well, like farmers union. So the local farmers union, they've now called for quotations to put up quite a big camera system throughout the area with infrared cameras, which are motion detective, because it's an ongoing problem and it's been going on, since farming began. Whenever that was in the 1800s, and the head of cattle that gets lost is absolutely incredible. Now I know some of the quotes that have come in, 700,000, 1.3 million, 1.5 million, and the association just doesn't have that kind of money, to put in this kind of system, the monitoring system, which of course is a big problem. So that is definitely a need, I would think, that needs to be addressed somehow and attended to and assisted with.
Sorry,
Yes, Donnie.
just to put 500 cattle into perspective, That's around about 7.5 million rand.
Whoa. Yeah, that's quite hectic.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. And I mean, Donnie, you know the immediate area, and you know the farmers here as well, so you understand that kind of issue that they're going through and sitting with. You've been in a lot of their farmers' meetings, over the years. This being your forte, one of your fortes in life. So yeah, you understand.
So are these cattle actually taken off by truck?
There's quite a few different ways they do it. The specific farmer across from where Yaku stays, I know that they've once loaded about 2 or 3 trucks one evening, I mean, full of cattle, and they left. Just the size of the farm and the community, all the access roads, it's virtually impossible for one farmer to patrol it and to secure his own farm. A lot of times it's also during full moon, where people can see quite good where to walk, and then they will just start chasing the cattle, lifting the fences up, and as soon as the cattle pass, they put the fence back up, so it's very difficult to trace them, to see where they've gone. And then when you've got a spoor at the end of the day, then they're long gone. So it is a difficult challenging situation.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the police know who the guys are. They literally turn a blind eye. The farmers will actually go and search and find them in the locations, whatever the case may be, and it's the same guys doing it over and over. It's like a family, from one generation to the next, and they literally just turn a blind eye.
Well, there is technology that we heard of and spoke to people, the assembly about 2 years ago, or nearly 2 years ago now, that can actually make the fences more secure with backup security with the fences being triggered. So there is other options on its way. It's just not available right now. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for your input, guys.
Yeah. So thank you. That's a good one. Jaco, have you got another one for us?
Not off the cuff, but thanks for putting me on the spot.
All right. Okay. Donnie, have you got one?
Yes, maybe I can share something.
Okay.
I'm from the Nelspruit area, Mpumalanga. We've had a new fresh produce market that was put up. They started around about 2017 erecting this multi-million-dollar facility that was focused on providing small farmers or emerging farmers a platform to sell their produce at.
Yeah.
The plan was countrywide to put up one in each province, and then between those hubs move produce that is in excess in one area but needed in another area. So the thinking or the plan behind it is quite good. Unfortunately, greed stepped in. It is now 2022. It has not been completed yet, and the budget has been exceeded by, I think, close to R1 billion.
Wow.
So it is a government project together with some private partners. Very hush-hush, but I mean, it affects the small farmers immensely. All the farms that was bought out in this community are now all sitting because there's no place where they can take their produce, so they don't see any need to produce anything anymore, which means at the end of the day the farm's going to waste.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Well, that's again, it's their personal responsibility for them to do it. Just sitting back is it's not acceptable. What have you got a solution for us?
I haven't thought that far yet. That is the area I like to move in, the business side of it, exporting or fresh produce and stuff. If we could get the infrastructure going, that would definitely immensely help the small farming community, or any farms actually, and it would definitely increase the income per family for those small farms. And I think that is at this stage very, very much needed.
All right. So how about a couple of people get together and form some kind of cooperative, and I will speak to you next week about a personal membership, a private membership agreement that can be used. We maybe create vegetable boxes that you sell directly to the townspeople and deliver once a week, or in town at somebody's premises. That way the vegetables and fruits and so on are sold, but the farmers can carry on farming and they will get money for their produce. We don't have to wait for a building. We've got to find other ways of doing it.
Yes, I understand. Yeah,
get out of our own way, kind of thing. If we're going to wait for buildings from controlling structures, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So you can have your Wednesday morning markets, you can have your Saturday markets, you can deliver directly to people's homes. Take photographs of the produce in boxes, tell them what you've got, put a price up, and just get deliver the whole way, along the way.
Yeah, that's definitely an option.
And you'll be surprised that there are people that will take on the task. Just put the word out there, put it out into the ether. Source will hear you, God will hear you, and it will happen. Just maybe, Donnie, go and sit with some people this weekend and just see what you can throw about. Get together, make a plan, do the costings for the people, because not everybody has the costings in their heads. Keep the prices so good that you purposefully make it better than you can get at the shops. So these farmers are actually get the benefits from it. Because we've got to get people food at a very good cost. So we can get this whole mindset and the whole shift going. People in the community will be so much happier, and that people won't feel the need to take 500 heads of cattle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. Now the thinking of the small farming community is they would sit back and wait for this structure to be completed, and then from there they would start planting. So it's a little bit reversed engineering or thinking from their side, but I understand what you're saying, to get the community involved and start producing or delivering food.
Maybe we need to think about a different way even. How about I've got a list of good seed producers, a long list. How about I give you the list, and you and a couple of people make the phone calls and see who's willing to donate some seed, and then you pay them for the seed later to get the whole process going. Even if it's a much smaller amount than they were going to plant, but something they're doing at least to get that going, and also for them not to lose hope, to know that the controlling body is not supplying their needs and helping them getting this going. Let them, they've got another way of getting it going. So people also get in the mindset of there's other ways of doing things.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I just want to take Donnie back to a conversation that he shared with me last year, as to the price of blueberries as an example, that the farmers sell it at to what it is actually sold for retail. So do you want to just expand on that a bit, Donnie?
Yeah, obviously the farmer is not the end, at the end of the chain. He sits right in front. So a farmer would get probably around about 80 to 90 rand per kilogram of blueberries. If it's correct time of the season, you might even go to 120 rand. But as soon as you step into the market, supermarket, you're buying at around 250, 280 rand a kilo. So it's the middleman is getting quite rich for doing not a lot of work. Well, taking no risk, but enjoying the fruit of it.
yeah, you know, maybe also if you've got the for instance, the blueberries being produced, but you don't have enough of an outlet yet, you can maybe ask some ladies in the community to start collecting glass jars, and they can start making jam. And then you can also have somebody else make an open air dehydrator, where they can dehydrate and sell the dried blueberries, and you can make jams or fruit coulis for ice cream, whatever. So there's multiple streams of income, and not just for the farmer, but also for the ladies that are going to be making, or the men, obviously, that are going to make the other products out of it. So we can do this. There's different ways, and this is good solutions we're coming up with. Anyone else with a solution for that?
Andy, can I jump in here?
Yes, go for it, Gideon.
I want to quickly ask Donnie about that system that they were running, where they try to get the produce to farmers market kind of setup. Is it possible to get hold of some information of what you tried and how you did it? Because there's a very big demand for these kind of things all over the country. And if we can find a golden ratio solution to that, we just duplicate it all over. Donnie, and the one thing that I think that was wrong from the start is to have the government involved. I know that they're probably sitting with a lot of property or buildings and stuff that's just collecting dust, but the feelings on the ground is like, you're always going to have problems. I mean, there's endless list of stuff where you can tell them, as soon as the government or semi-government is involved, you're not going to go anywhere. It's just not working, because there's so much infighting about who's making what money and who's getting what salary, irrelevant of what work has been done. So get back to my question. Is it possible that you can maybe hook me up or give me a link or something so I can get some information of how did you guys do it, and how, so I can see what didn't work and maybe help you guys try a solution. I'm thinking here from a creative point of view. It's just my arena, and I'm trying to think here out of the box.
No, thanks, Gideon. Maybe I should just state it like this. It is a government project that they started off in early 2000s to create a fresh produce market in each province. So it is driven by government. Halfway through the project, I think they've erected 4 in 4 different provinces now. Mpumalanga was the last one. So in the beginning, the government said they need to close down all the different corporations that there was previously. They didn't want to do any business with co-ops. They wanted to do it themselves. And throughout this process, they saw that co-ops do have a place. And now they're starting to build the co-op system again to get this food produced and delivered countrywide.
I understand. It's strategy stuff that's not in place. That's
yeah.
They have their own agenda, and we know where that is going. But it's not going to work with the government involved, especially if they're driving it. I have my own opinion on that stuff, but I want, let's not talk about that now. We want to make it work for everybody. So whoever puts work in must be paid a due amount. But everything can be clear and crystal, and so that there's no greed and whatever.
Yes.
I'm really, I feel very passionate about this kind of stuff, to come up with ideas that we can duplicate all over the country.
Yes.
If we cannot afford to think about food and think about Pick n Pay, we need to have other sources of more direct stuff where the willing farmer and the willing buyer can get together on a platform and make something work. I mean, come on, we are sending people to the moon. We can make that kind of stuff. It's not brain surgery. Let's get together and try something. But we have to work together and, look at the strategy and the definitions, look at what hasn't been working and think outside the box. And if I can understand it and maybe assist with some kind of idea, I'd be really privileged and honored if I could be involved.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Gideon.
Yeah, if you guys need me to put you in contact, just let me know via message. Okay.
Thanks,
you.
Andy.
All right, great. Right, can I ask, is there anyone else that would like to volunteer another need for their community? Go for it, Owen. Unmute yourself.
Hi, Tundi. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm going to talk with actually 2 hats tonight because, as you know, my Zimbabwe connection. But I'll start with Witstrand, the tiny village that I live in here in the Western Cape, on the Breda River. And yeah, obviously our 2 main issues are water. So the village sort of has about 500 permanent residents, and then obviously Christmas time, holiday times, that can push up to about 5,000 people in the village. So there's a lot of holiday homes which stand empty most of the year. So one of the issues is the water delivery system from Heidelberg comes from about 40 kilometers away. There's a limit on the amount of water, the volume of water that can be discharged along that pipeline per day. And what happens is our local reservoirs run low very quickly, and then we end up with no water. And then obviously the other big issue is Eskom and load shedding, etc., which I guess everybody has that problem. But yeah, I'm still to consult with local experts in town and to sort of discuss solutions that we might have and come up with. One of the ones that was implemented about 2 years ago was a solar desalination plant, taking water from up the river. And so I think that gave us an extra 360,000 liters a day or something. So It did improve the situation a bit, so maybe we would be looking at expanding that plant and increase the amount of water that we could draw out of the river and desalinate. So I think those are the two major issues for this town and for my sort of immediate community. Obviously, there are bigger issues in the wider community in the Sekwa area, but generally the municipalities run very well in this area. So you know, there aren't that many crucial issues that I know a lot of people are facing in other parts of the country. From the Zimbabwean side of things, when you know, I've been here since 2016, but I was a farmer most of my life in Zim, and was involved with the Farmers Union there for quite a few years, and I was chairman for our district, actually our province. So I don't know if you're aware, obviously, that the land was taken there. Most of it was taken and handed over to new farmers. And it was quite amazing the exercise that was done through the valuation consortium, who through documents and submissions from the farmers, collated all the information and created this huge database of the value of the farms and what infrastructure was on the farms. And so eventually a global figure was arrived at for the value of all the farms that were taken, which is $3.5 billion US. And government has actually committed themselves to paying the farmers for the improvements on their farms. So that is the $3.5 billion figure that they arrived at. So, but obviously they don't have the money. The money is not available for that. So, you know, if that was to become available through some kind of structure or facility at some stage, what it would do would be able to pay compensation to a lot of the farmers who are mostly all quite aged now and are in an actually desperate situation because they've got no income. They've lost the ability to provide a pension for themselves, etc. And that would alleviate their issues in a big way. And then the other thing is that it would then free up the title deeds, so that the government could then offer title deeds to the new farmers, which then they could borrow against or be able to obviously invest more in their land, because at the moment, you know, they're a bit hesitant, I think, to invest a lot in the land because they don't have title deeds for the land, they're only leasing it. So yeah, that's so, you know, $3.5 billion into the Zimbabwean economy, which would make a, you know, huge difference to that economy. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's just not a small figure we're talking about. It's a lot of money, but that is the situation as it stands at the moment.
It will happen. A solution will be found. Money will be available for farms, no doubt. In fact, that is the priority, is to create food security. So hold on to that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's, you know, people that we can get in touch with. There's a compensation steering committee. There's a valuation consortium that are all involved with it. So the documentation is all there. Everything is ready to go. It's just, you know, the money that to come in to cover it, and it could all happen, and it would, you know, would change things pretty quickly in Zim.
I am aware of that. I spoke to a nearly 80-year-old farmer in Hermanus 2 years ago. He's just moved up to KwaZulu-Natal, and he's been waiting for a long time for his payout.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of you guys on that list.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you very much. Maybe we should speak before Saturday again, just briefly, just to give you some more info, okay?
Okay. Yeah. We
Pass
appreciate
along.
that.
Okay,
Yeah, thank
great.
you.
Right, who's next? Come on. Teresa? Okay, Yvonne. Yvonne, do you want to speak?
Okay.
You gave me the finger.
Don't get me going. Oh, this is all such wonderful talk. Just by the way, I have it firsthand from one of our guys whose uncle does farming here for the big retailers. And they label their stuff as organic. And I know so many people say, oh, I've got my fruit and vegetables from such and such a shop. They don't need to wash it, but they insist that they spray it with Roundup, glyphosate. And every time it rains, there's another layer of, we know this firsthand, just to mention, it's a disgusting, despicable, hidden poison.
Yeah. I was on the CFR agricultural meeting last night, international. Anybody's welcome to join that meeting. And they are in the process of getting new definitions for things like organic and criteria for organic, because as you say, it's even the wind that blows or anything, the wash off still gives contamination. So yeah, please continue.
Okay, so in my area, I've put through a couple of proposals, but the thing I just see now is filth. It's mind-boggling. We have on one of our street corners, there's such a blockage with the stormwater drains that there's a massive pothole in the road, which you can't see because there's a swamp on top of it. It's filthy. It's been there for about 6 months. I don't know how there haven't been serious accidents, but I've tried every department. They keep, no, it's not for the sewage, it's not for the water department. I just keep chipping away, but nothing gets done. And going all the way down Queen Street, which is one of the main roads in Kensington, it's just filth, and there's more and more of these stormwater drains that are blocked. It's mind-boggling. I mean, I've seen people sweeping their rubbish into the stormwater drains. And, people drive past and they just throw out their bottles and their cans, and others just emptying garbage on street corners. I don't know where we can start with this. Maybe we need to get teams going. They are doing it to a large degree, but it's impossible to keep on top of it. So I suppose, as you mentioned once, education is a big thing. Do people think where all that filth is going? I think in terms of potential typhoid, God knows what's in this swamp at the bottom. It's on a main road. So
yeah, it's difficult because it's a mindset change. Mindset doesn't change overnight, and doesn't change with one generation either. I mean, it's been ingrained for generations.
yeah,
So it's difficult, and as you say, it's an educational process.
I remember when I was about 8 years old, sorry to diversify here, we lived in a block of flats on the 3rd floor. And my dad one day came and I chucked something over the balcony, some rubbish. And he said to me, hey, where do you think that's going? I said, I don't know, it's gone. And that was my mindset until he showed me, look, you could have hit someone on the head with it. This is where it landed. So I think the education is a huge part of it. But there are no rubbish bins in the parks. There is nowhere. There are no public rubbish bins available. You know, and a lot of people in the area walk. And I mean, we're on the next door to a park. It's mind-boggling. I don't know what else to do. We've had teams go and pick up, but the next day it's just same old story again.
Yeah.
So maybe we can incentivize, I don't know.
Has anyone got any suggestions to help Yvonne find a solution here? Okay.
I can't think of any offhand. I mean,
Let's ponder on it.
yeah, we used to have campaigns going back 30, 40 years, whatever the case may be. Zipping a zibby bluck,
But it's happening more and more suburbs. I see this littering on the corners. People just dump their rubbish.
Okay, so let's just remember that the municipalities are not being funded like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're not taking the responsibility. And our schools are not getting the zip it in a ZB block educationals like we did as children, Yaku.
Yeah.
We had a totally different upbringing. We really had strong campaigns all over. We had those blue bins that used to hang on most of the poles. We had dustbins everywhere.
That's right. Yeah.
So maybe that is a needs assessment. So you can actually fill that in on a form like this.
Great idea.
Yeah, probably, I don't know under which category, maybe even environmental, maybe, because it's all, and then just list all these options. It's not just in the schools, it's adults, it's putting those bins back out in your community. Can then as part of your educational, put up bins everywhere. And you can also pay someone to go and empty the bins on a daily basis.
We'd have to do something like that, yeah.
But it's not a project that you will be taking on unless you want to. It can be a community project.
Yeah.
Or it can be somebody else. It can be your guy next door that decides, oh no, you'll take care of this, thank you very much. It will be his project. And all these little projects will create a tremendous amount of employment in our country.
Yes, absolutely. All the people sitting around on the roads doing bugger all at the moment.
Yeah.
I think they could be motivated, definitely.
But it's not just that someone will be a garbage collector or picking up rubbish for a living. It is going to be their own business. That's going to be their ownership, their pride, their business.
Yes.
That's the nice thing about it. You're giving, somebody would be actually applying for funding for their own business. That's what it will end up being. But they'll be serving their community and doing a damn good job. And more can come out of it.
Yes, it's a lovely project, actually.
And this is an ongoing project. This project's going to be ongoing, non-ongoing, for-profit, not for-profit. This is going to be not for-profit, and it's going to be ongoing. Therefore, your transport is covered, so you can go and dump this at the recycling centers. You can sort this, the rubbish on a daily basis. Go and dump it, go and dump it at the right places. Which also brings in an extra income for this project. So there's a lot of options attached to this.
Lovely ideas. Okay, cool. I'll jump on it.
Yeah,
Thank
just
you.
fill it in. Somebody might probably pick it up, or you can suggest it to someone in your community going down the road.
I'm sure there are people who will jump on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's got to be a sort of a multifaceted approach to these kind of problems. So education, turning it into businesses, etc., and also finding people. I think in Cape Town, they've got a sort of a promotion going on at the moment, or publicity going on about people dumping rubbish and garbage. You know, if you capture them on film and can prove that somebody is dumping the garbage and can prove it, I think you can get a reward of 5,000 rand, and the person
Wow.
dumping the garbage is going to be fined 10,000 rand. So, you know, the money is coming into the system to be able to pay the people to reward them for reporting these kind of things, and that way, yeah, people will be a little bit wary of just going to the street corner and dumping the rubbish.
Timing is a great one. You just
Because
need
they
to
might-
find a few people and
Yeah.
spread the word. Yeah,
Yeah.
great idea.
And your right to fine will be under the private membership agreement that we'll discuss hopefully next week. And that's going to be essential for every assembly to have. So every community can have its private membership agreement, which will allow them to operate and make decisions for their own community without permission from a, inverted commas, higher power. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Yvonne. That's a good one. Right. Who's next? Who's feeling inspired? Teresa.
Yes, sorry, Tandi. I'm working from my phone here, so okay, my community. I kind of like haven't really identified any major, I suppose, what issues or concerns in my community where I live. But something that I have that has come up in my face quite often within, let's say, my circle of people that I know, is that there are so many, I suppose, single women, okay, who've got no family, that they're on their own, they can't find work, they've got no place to stay, they don't have food to eat. So yes, that is something that I'm actually wanting to, I think, explore and look into, because I think women's needs are very, very dear to my heart. So yeah, I don't know where to begin just yet. I must be honest. So yeah, I've identified there's about 10 women that I know, okay, that who find themselves in the situation that there's no work for them, okay, that they don't, or they are being evicted from their places of residence and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. It's very real. Actually, somebody else spoke to me about this exact same thing on Saturday.
Oh, really?
So, yes. And I know it happens with men as well. But men just cover it up in a different way than women do. But everybody's very ashamed. And there's a great level of shame attached to this. Teresa, this is where, when projects start coming off the ground, there'll be plenty of employment going around. So when you think about your projects and your needs in your community and the solutions, the solutions will definitely employ people. So there will be employment coming up. But also Max from the CFR, the Child and Family Restoration, that is restoration of humanity. And I believe there will be something for women as well. I'm not sure how it's going to work. There's also going to be adult education. So let's see how that develops. Maybe we can ask Eunice to tell us a bit more if she knows any more at this point in time. But keep your finger on the pulse. Something is going to happen in that regard.
Oh, cool. Okay. Fabulous. Thank you.
All right. But if you have anyone got solutions for Teresa that they would like to suggest. Nobody.
Wikipedia.
Yeah. Okay.
Dandy?
Yes,
Danny?
yes, Donnie
I
Jensen.
think, Yebo, I think
Speak up, Butch.
somebody, am I too soft?
There we go, much better.
Let's try. All right, let's try. I'm also on my phone. You know, sometimes we are too gentle about a lot of things. And maybe I mustn't open the can of worms tonight, but I get aggressively demoering if I hear about people that want to educate people, not to throw papers around. Now, the one individual guy on this earth that doesn't know about it must be born. So I feel that we need to go, and somebody said, told the story a while ago about a community there in Naisna area that went to the municipality and said they will clean some municipal structures or toilet structures, and they need this and this and that kind of pay. And then they ask for education and so on. So I feel that one needs to go to the municipalities because there must be a budget for cleaning the streets, and get hold of that budget and get some of these mamas and things to start cleaning the streets, but they must be equipped with a shambok, like
No,
the
no, that's not,
mapoho.
Donnie, that's not what source.
No.
We can't do that. That's not kind. Above all, we've got to be kind.
We will be cruel to be kind. The main thing is somehow some people must just be showed the right way.
No, Donnie,
and
think about what you're saying.
Yeah, I hear what you say, but
Yeah, I
hell,
know
I'm
you
not
know.
for these kind of people. Really, why must we always ask these kind of people to behave themselves? Now, all right.
Right, Donnie.
All right. The one constructive thing that I want to say is that yes, I feel like this guy that told us of the Naisna project. There must be a budget at the municipalities, and then from that municipalities we can launch a cleaning team to do the right thing. All right, that's about my story.
Okay, Donnie, that's not good enough. We're here to discuss needs of your community. Now tell me what's the needs in your community. Hey?
Mamas with shamboks that help people pick up their own shit. Then we do education and we do a lot of things in one throw.
Tough love.
Donnie, what is the needs in
Yes.
your community?
Yes. Maybe it's just my flu body that's a bit aggro tonight, but hell, yeah. All right. Needs of my community, yes. There's always a need to clean up. There's always a need for education, but I feel that sometimes we must be lesser lenient with the methodologies that we use. And yes, again, a while ago we were talking about this funding kind of projects. What do you call it? Where you register a project and you get
Crowdfunding.
funding from the community and so.
Crowdfunding. Yeah.
I think we must start explore. Yeah, I think we must start exploring crowdfunding and see if it works. And if it works, we have a source of income, and then we can start funding a lot of things.
Mm.
But
Okay,
let's concentrate on getting funds in.
All right, that is one way of doing it. Maybe Yaku has ways of doing crowdfunding. Have you got contacts for us for crowdfunding to help us? Because we're a little bit we have no idea how to do that.
Yeah, we've got quite a few specialists on the team on crowdfunding.
Okay.
So I can speak to some of them.
Okay.
Crowdfunding essentially at right now, people want to see some kind of return on investment. So basically and a lot of it happens with, and I want to use the gaming community as an example. So a game gets developed. Everybody that puts in a portion of money, they actually take a portion, a shared portion, and that's how the project gets funded. But let me touch base with some of them, and let's see if we can come up with something.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Sure.
Cool.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you very much, because somehow we need to fund our ideas.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Donnie, I'm not finished with you. I want to know if when you drive down the road, what is wrong in your community? I want to know what is a need in your community.
Young,
You can do this.
I wrote a thing of 2-3 months ago. 2-3 months ago, and you and me had to test it, but we didn't get to it. So I have to go and refresh that again.
No.
But in short, yes, we have this typical pothole problem. We have this typical people alongside the roads that sleep in this cold areas in this heavy winter. I can't look at them. It's too sore to look at them. There's a lot of things to be done. But I can't even help myself. That's why I'm so eager to look at crowdfunding or something that we have. It doesn't help. I make a hell of a lot of noise, and I can't put my money where my mouth is.
Well, how about is there open land that you can maybe lease a 99-year lease with, or something to that effect from the municipality to do a community garden? So to create some food, and then you can use some people that don't have employment to help in the community garden. Is that an option?
I can do a lot of things. It doesn't help. I walk one step if I don't have money to support my ideas.
Okay. All right. So
I've got a question. These kind of projects, will this not be funded from the Manor Trust?
Not Manor Trust, the Global Repository. Yeah.
Sorry, my correction.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yes, it will be, but Donnie wants to do something now. That's why he's asking for crowdfunding. And we have a lot of people that are ready to go. We just need the funding. And we need to have immediate solutions as well. And we need to do something. We can't just sit and wait for it to happen one day. That's what it's about.
That's right.
Yeah. I want to, for instance, all our glass jars are thrown away and put into the landfill. Hardly ever do they end up being reused or melted down. They're just dumped generally. There's no need for that. I want to have glass jars washed, and then so people can use them for bottling anything and everything.
Yeah.
So there are projects that can be done now already. It's not difficult. And we can get money out of that. It's not a waste. So there are immediate solutions. Okay, so Donnie, think about it. You need to have something. So if Jaco comes up with a solution for you, you need to have a project that you can fund now, because he's probably going to come up with solutions. So think about it. I can also put the two of you in contact if you need to, okay?
Great, thank you.
Yeah,
all
100%.
right. Great.
All right.
We
Who's
can only
next?
try. If we don't try, we won't know.
Yes.
Jaco, is there space for some box also?
Yeah, but only for me. No, not even for me. Okay.
We
Tommy?
must do the education thing. Right, bye.
Yeah. Okay. Tommy, unmute yourself for me, please.
Hi. Good
Hello.
evening.
Good evening. Now,
Yeah.
surprise me with a wonderful problem in your area that you can solve.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm one of the, maybe I'm a stickler for believing that you can maybe fix almost anything with money. You know, and also just struggling to come by. And then this community, like many other communities, you know, there's so many issues, so many problems, so much that needs to be fixed. But the main issue, I'm on the Cape Flats. So one of the main issues on the Cape Flats is, crime, and so obviously there's a need for security. And what would work is probably, we have a community forum or community policing, or
Peace officers.
just basically a group for every area looking after their own area security wise. So project wise, it would be ongoing, non-profit, long term. And I suppose there would also be a need for rehab, for so much of a youth are involved in gangsterism. So yeah, there's going to be there is a need for a type of rehab for gangsterism, and obviously the drugs come with it.
Yeah.
So that's the big issue, yeah, besides everybody battling to survive. So yeah, so in terms of policing of the different areas, like in Mitchell's Plain we have about 12, if I can call it that, suburbs. So yeah, each area would obviously need groups to police or secure the area, and that would be on a permanent basis. And then there's other things that come with it, like I say, the rehab of gangsters or gangsterism. So there's just a lot of spin-offs from that. The upgrading of parks, maybe the planting of fruit trees in the parks. Our schools also apparently, it was in the local newspaper, picked up that the school right near to us, there's complaints by the parents that the school is in a bag, it's in, they're complaining because there's problems with the infrastructure at the school. So I think there's a problem with some of the stairs or the staircases. So it's unsafe for the kids. So yeah, I suppose the schools are not being funded like they should be.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, again, when you talk about social spin-offs, maybe fruit, vegetable gardens at the schools as well. Because it's not just, it won't just be, food provision, but also to keep the youngsters occupied. Unemployment is such a huge issue in our areas. And yeah, the kids are all on the street. I see a lot of youngsters during the day, hanging around in the parks and so on. And some of them look like they should be at school, but they're hanging around on street corners and at the parks. Yeah, so we've got a huge need, but the biggest need is finance, yeah, because a lot of people I don't speak to many people, you know, everybody's trying to deal with their own issues. But, you know, people have ideas, but they always need financing. Always comes, you know, I know you're going to say there's so much we can do. But, you know, like, it's not even easy to speak to the people, you know, like I say, everybody's battling, just trying to get through the day, trying to make ends meet. It's not easy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just unpack this. You mentioned quite a few different solutions, a few different problems. The crime and security. Obviously,
that's the highest need at the moment.
Yeah, because once that is under control, and that's an issue for a period of time. It's not going to be for the next 20 years. It's for a period of time until humanity's chilled the frills out, kind of thing, and humanity starts to heal. So it's best to have that in the actual smallest communities possible, like as in that little ward or those couple of blocks where the people know each other and they know their community members very well. So you know when there's somebody coming into your area that's not meant to be there, or that just comes to visit their auntie or whatever. And maybe it's, instead of calling them securities, to call them peace officers. So there's a different connotation that is being built. And this is something Kim also suggested as we work towards having peace officers, someone to restore the peace. Someone that's more like a big brother.
Yes, I hear you. You know, we've got different, you know, we've got different, I want to try and, I'm looking for the right word, but you've got different grades of can I say the human or the, you know, human being, a state of humanness or humaneness. And, you know, some of these guys are just naughty, you know, the youngsters, they're just looking for, if they're on drugs, they're looking for a little money for the quick fix. And then you've also got the hardened criminals, and they intertwine. So, you know, if you're patrolling, let's just say, this people is talking about starting a patrol. But I mean, you know, yeah, so for now, I suppose, you know, what I'm saying is, you know, where do you enter? You know what? You don't know what you're gonna be facing if you're patrolling. You don't know who you or what you're gonna be facing or faced with around the corner, you know, or the next corner. So the first group of guys you might meet might just be a couple of naughty kids that's you know, guilty of a misdemeanor. But then 2 minutes later, it's a group of hardened criminals, you know, that talk a different language. You know, we all colored maybe, but like I say, this, you know, there's different levels, different grades of and if you don't talk the lingo, they're going to be very aggressive, you know, or they're just going to see you as an opposition, as an aggressor. You don't belong there. You're talking differently. You don't sound like them. And so then there's, the result could be anything. And in most cases, I mean, innocent people are being killed, you know, for no reason. So if they see you as an aggressor, obviously there's going to be shots fired, you know, without any talking maybe. So yeah, it's a difficult one to engage, but we need to start somewhere.
Yeah, it's, you know, I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's not been my world, so I can't offer any comment on that. But I know that humanity will heal. It won't take forever, and this problem will be solved in time. And I know this sounds airy-fairy, but gee, we've got so much power to change it in our own communities. We can inspire. We can personally connect with God, connect with Source, and change the energy in our community, change the people. Do what you can, pray, meditate, ask Source.
It's always a good place to start, yeah.
Yeah, literally it can be done. As work on your telepathic abilities. If you, I was listening to a lady called Penny Kelly this week. She was talking about if you're driving behind somebody and they're going at 40 and you need to drive at 16, you really need to get to the next exit and they're holding you up. Send them a message. Can you speed up, or can you take the next exit? Or speak to your cat and tell your cat not to scratch the furniture because it's being destructive, and that we've got to live kindly with each other, and don't attack me and bite my hand, because we really do need to live kindly together and work together. Send these messages to these people when you're around them. Send them love, radiate it. Work on actually protecting yourself. It's a tough one, but Tommy, it's going to happen. Just more people need to chill the frills out when there isn't a rush to. This is why food security is so, so important. When people don't have to rush to fight to get food and everybody's tummies are full, they've got electricity, their needs are met, people are going to calm down, and we're not going to need this. There's not going to be that terrible fight the whole time. This is why.
Now we're looking forward to that time.
Yeah, but you guys need to think about, how are you going to do food security in your community? Remember the buckies with the fish driving around in the community selling fish, and the ones with the vegetables selling the vegetables and fruits.
Yeah, no, we still have that in some of our areas here.
Yes, we need more of
the
that.
guys that come direct from the farm with fruit and veg on the buckies, yeah. Or otherwise they have stalls, so we still that's still very prominent, yeah, in our areas. We with the walkers, yes. So that is available.
Yeah. So again, with your schools, maybe that school needs to be looked at. If the stairs are going, maybe there's other things that are wrong with the infrastructure there as well. Write that up in a needs assessment for me. Call me. Let's set up a call. Let me help you fill in this needs assessment. Let's get it done for you. Okay. Write down the other things. Get onto your community groups. Speak to your local ward councillors. Speak to the ratepayers associations. These are all people that are really handy to have around, because they're at a wealth of information. Your municipalities have the budgets for what has never been done. Same with your ratepayers associations. They sit on meetings the whole time. A lot of things are not approved, but they've got budgets, they've got the plans for a lot of things. So it's up to you guys to actually connect with these people and talk. Okay.
Okay, Tandy, thanks.
It's a pleasure. All right, people, it is now 8:20. We normally only have our meeting until 8 o'clock. Noel, can we chat tomorrow and connect, please? And I think we already said that in the message. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Let's think about the problems in our communities, but let's think about why they're problems, and let's work towards the solutions. Eunice and myself are actually going through a list of over 300 people. We've divided it in half, and we are calling people. So expect a call from either her or myself. We will be calling you and actually going through these needs assessments. We need at least 3 from each one of you, and then we will need each one of you to go and speak to others in your community and find out what's happening. Kim needs this. It's very important. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice evening and see you next week.
Thanks, everyone.